damaging winds, large hail, an isolated tornado, flash flooding in multiple locations, fire hazard in Nevada and Utah, and smoke in the Midwest. Good morning, I'm meteorologist Pew. Today is August 1st, 2025. Today we have a crap ton to go over. So starting with severe weather, we have a slight risk or a 2 out of 5 in the Eastern Rockies and a marginal risk in the Southeast. And what this entails is that both areas are going to see damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. In addition to the Eastern Rockies, we're going to have large hail from 1 to 2 inches in diameter and possibly an isolated tornado or two. In terms of flash flooding, the Weather Prediction Center has issued 4 slight risk or 2 out of 4 areas in the Southeast, Southern Plains, New Mexico, and also in Dakotas. Starting with the Southeast, in the next 24 hours, rainfall totals can be 1 to 3 inches. And the same amounts could be set for the Southern Plains, except you're going to see isolated, short-lived, and high burst rainfalls. And then throughout the Eastern Rockies, from Montana all the way to New Mexico, you may see half an inch to 1.5 inches of rainfall. But for the Dakotas, especially South Dakota, you're going to see one large localized area where you can get rainfalls up to 1 to 5 inches or greater. Okay, so time frames for the severe weather, starting with the Southeast, things are going to start around 19Z or 3 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to travel southeastward and it's going to travel through the evening into the night. For the Southern Plains, we're going to see isolated storms throughout the day, but it looks like a lot more are going to pop up around 20Z or around 3 p.m. Central time. And then for the Eastern Rockies, it looks like 19Z and that's 1 p.m. Mountain time. And then for the Dakotas, like intensification is going to start around 23Z and that's 6 p.m. Central time. And this is going to last throughout the evening, throughout the whole night, even into the next morning. Looking at 500 millibars or midway through the troposphere, we're still going to have the ridge in the Rockies that's pulling in the really dry air into Nevada and Utah. And that's going to be one of the reasons why we're going to see this elevated fire risk. And with that, at the surface, we're going to see relative humidities in the single digits and also wind speeds up to 20 to 25 miles per hour. And in contrast to that, we're still going to be seeing this ridge pulling in the residual moisture from the past few days into the Eastern Rockies, which is going to help fuel these storms. And in addition to that, this ridge is going to have multiple shortwave troughs, and this is going to help with one, bringing in good shear, which is going to tilt those updrafts and prolong those storms, but also it's going to add spin to the updrafts, which is vorticity, and it's going to help with the upward motion. And if we take a look at the Southern Plains, we're going to see almost no shear, which is going to explain why these storms are going to be short-lived. Taking a look at satellite imagery, I want to look at Dakotas because we're going to have a very well-defined MCV or a mesoscale convective vortex, which is essentially a localized circulation, and this is going to be heading into a somewhat moist environment. Everywhere else, like the Eastern Rockies, we have somewhat clear skies, which is going to bring diurnal heating, more surface heating, more instability, but it's kind of spotty in the Southern Plains, and we can see a little bit in the Southeast. But regardless, these areas are already hot and humid, and so we're going to have a cold front coming from the Southeast all the way to around Texas, and then from Texas we're going to have a stationary front going from the Southern Plains all the way up to Montana, and these are going to provide good surface lifts. And for the Midwest, we're still going to have this high pressure, and high pressures are associated with sinking motion and clockwise flow, so any smoke that's in the upper atmosphere is going to sink down to us to the surface, which is exactly why we have all this smoke at the surface in this moment. And at the same time, because it's clockwise flow in the Eastern Rockies, they're going to have southeasterly winds, which is going to cause orographic lift because of the terrain, and it's going to help with the surface lifts for those thunderstorms. And that's why we may have